Hello. I'd like to show you today 3 characteristics of every player in Foxhole, okay? Basically, these characteristics are intertwined, all right? There's almost a 4th characteristic, which is initiative, and this is going to guide everything, all right? Basically, let's just say everyone moves at the same net speed. Set net speed 0, okay? Now, what if I told you could move faster than that? Maybe you'll believe me, but definitely you can move slower than that, all right? So you'll definitely believe me there. Okay, that you can move slower. So you can go slower, you can move faster. And basically, initiative here, it's making the step before the enemy does. All right. If you don't have initiative, you will wait on the enemy to make a move and then you will react. And that is how you lose the war. that is the death from 1,000 cuts. Okay, maybe 1,000,000 cuts, because that's how you lose the war slowly. So first of all, we got tactics. Okay, I'm going to be rating each of these on a 1 through 3. All right. I would say the vast majority of most players in this game will be doing this thing, which I is just demonstrable. Okay, and it happens all the time. The death loop or the doom loop. Okay, where they spawn. They take forever to make their gear, and then they get blown up, and they do it again. All right, so the step beyond that, right, is getting an appropriate amount of gear. All right, the level two tactical guy, he'll actually get an appropriate amount of gear. All right, maybe he needs frag grenades. Maybe he doesn't need to carry 12 med kits with him. Okay, maybe he doesn't need to carry a soldier supply with him. I killed a collie carrying a soldier supply last night. So yeah, a level 2 tactical guy will know which gear to bring, and the gear will make him more deadly on the battlefield. He's more than just a guy with a rifle, okay? A guy with a rifle is good. A guy with a rifle is important, but you can be more than just a guy with a rifle, okay? Really, the thing is these guys with no tactics, they don't understand the big picture. They don't know what they're fighting for. So every time they lose or every time they die, they don't see if they're getting closer or further to their goal, to their objective. To them, it's just another 45 seconds of preparation for 30 seconds of death. Okay? So the hardest thing to do is to get the right amount of gear. All right? This could be more gear, this could be less gear. And maneuver as well. All right? Flank. You've got to flank. You've always got to flank. Go around these obstacles. Do not face these obstacles head on. There's no reason to. People face these obstacles head on all day long. And I'm here to tell you, you're not going to be the one to change it. If you go and you try to charge the bull by its horns, you're not going to be the one to change it. At best, you're going to be soup and salad. Probably just soup, though, okay? Never charge the bull by the horns. Be smart. Be clever. Go around. There's always a way around, I promise, all right? And the last thing, all right, this is still the level 3 tactical. The last thing is you've got to have patience. For God's sake, you've got to have patience. Okay? Your plan will not work if you don't have the patience to follow it through. And that's basically where all plans fail, is you think just setting it up and initiating it is enough. You need to be able to just hold the brakes and wait to go again. All right. And this is almost the most important part. If you're not going to listen to any of this tactical shit, just be patient. Just be a little patient. All right. Because that collie is going to come to you. The little white rabbit is going to come across your path. I promise you they will. But only if you use these tactics to get it. Okay. You've got to be more clever. All right. If everyone got it, it wouldn't be worth getting. Okay. Now, when it comes to specifically, all right, there's a couple obstacles in your path to this. All right. So the most common obstacles, and this isn't quite as much of a metaphor as I'd like it to be, but if you can apply this very direct thing into metaphors for your own life, maybe you'll be able to follow me, because I'm talking about something pretty specific here, but I think that the metaphor will carry over, okay? First, there's the trench collies, all right? And there's not a lot of them. But it seems like there's a lot of them because there's a lot of trench wardens, okay? And so that's what you're going to end up seeing the most. Okay, and now look, with a trench collie, you can play the trench collie game. You can do what they're doing. You can sit in a trench with a gun and shoot people to get close to you. And they're good at it. And you could do that too if you want. Remember, you have to have the patience for it, though. Okay, they have patience. That's why they're successful. But if you want to just cut ahead of the line, you got to find the right tool. All right, we were talking about using the right tools earlier. All right, get a frag grenade. That's what they're made for. Just toss it. All right, look, the thing is sometimes it's easy to think that a tool is obsolete because there is a better option, but don't lose sight of the utility of something you have right by. All right, don't underappreciate what you have just because you know that there's someone with something better somewhere. Okay, the economics behind it just doesn't make fucking sense. Okay. The next kind of collie is a bush collie, all right? A bush collie doesn't have a trench, okay? But a bush collie has something way better. It's a fucking bush, all right? And they will sit in that bush and they will wait, okay? Like a trapdoor spider. They'll wait for hours or minutes. It doesn't matter. Once again, they have patience, okay? But they have too much patience. The best thing to do with a bush collie, the one fucking thing you need to kill a bush collie is a radio, because you'll see them on the map. They won't know you see them on the map. They think they're all safe and secure. So then you roll up and you shoot them, or you throw a grenade, or you run over them, or you burn them, or you bomb them, or you stab them, or you punch them, and the list goes on, right? I've actually drowned them too. So if you can figure out another way to get them, let me know. There's plenty of them. Okay, the bush collies, though, they'll get you. They'll sucker punch you. They'll shoot you from the bush. Okay, so don't let them get you twice. The next one is a variant on the bush collie. It's the mortar bush collie. Not to be confused with the mortar trench collie. The mortar bush collie is a very clever predator because he will set up with a squad. He'll fire 1 or 2 or 3 shots, and then he'll wait for you to go get him. Okay. And that's very dangerous because you're looking for a mortar, and instead you find a fucking bullet in your brain. Okay. So we've got the trench collie, we got the bush collie. In both cases, against the mortar collie, the best thing to do, because they always group up, is to get a mortar, look and see. Even at night, you can see the explosion and then shoot the explosion, and then they stop. Because you can see the explosion of where the mortar leaves the mortar tube. Okay. Next, there's the field collie. The field collie is pretty dangerous, okay? He'll do one of 2 things. Either 1, he'll go up to a tree and take cover there and shoot you from it, which they're very good at, or 2, he'll go prone. Or 3, he'll shadow dance up to you, okay? If they shadow dance, do not sit still. Do not sit still. Move and shoot them as they're moving and shooting at you. If they go prone, do not let them prone you. Get around them, take cover, do something, but do not let them prone you. If they're setting up and they're playing their hand, they're going to shoot and kill you, okay? And the tree collie, grenade them or flank them. Or, it's best in all these cases to always outnumber the enemy if you can, okay? The tank collie, if you disable his tank, he will get out. If he has to repair his tank, he will get out, and he will not do it in a safe place. He'll do it right behind the front line. Right behind the front line. So all you have to do is hurt the tank or disable it. They're going to fucking move the tank back to fix it, and then you shoot the crew. Tank collies aren't that smart, but they have tanks. The light vehicle collies, they're probably the most dangerous of all collies because they're quick, they're fast. Quick, is there another word for quick and fast? Because that's the scary part, okay? And mind you, look, every single one of these collies becomes the same thing at night, which is a werewolf. All right. At night, the collies become terrifying. And they become even more terrifying if they get a bunch of rocket launchers. The nighttime terror attacks with those rocket launchers are fucking scary. So any one of these things can turn into a nighttime terror attack collie. All right. And if you learn how to kill these collies, if you learn what they are and how to kill them, you'll be a better tactical mastermind. Okay, next there's strategy. Okay. A bad person at strategy isn't as bad at strategy as a person bad at tactics is. Okay. The person bad at tactics just keeps spawning and dying. The person bad at strategy keeps running Logi over and over again. Okay. So the first tier would be the ground up Logi man. He doesn't really understand the economy, but he gets that if you whack the scrap with a hammer, it'll give you scrap, and you can take that scrap to make B mats. You can take that B mats to a factory. Right? He knows that process, and that's all he does from the ground up. And this is inefficient because in a lot of cases, he could just be going and getting the stuff from a supply depot or something. Okay. So the next one would be flexible. And once again, if you're starting from the ground up and you're making your stuff out that way, that's okay. I mean, honestly, it's not that bad, but it just wastes time. All right. And so the next step is being flexible and making sure that you're always staying. You're using your time and you're remaining flexible. Okay. Time management is huge here. There's basically a couple different types of delivery. Okay. The first one, like I said, is from the ground up. The second is mid lane logi, which basically you take it in like a big truck and you bring the flatbed container to the seaport, and then from there you unload, and then somebody in a logi truck takes it from there. Okay. There's a couple different options. All right. But just knowing those options is going to be important. Okay. You're gonna see it, right? Okay. When it comes to leadership, because you need strategy and you need tactics for leadership. And once again, with strategy, you can't be thinking about the grand big picture while you're killing the enemy. You can only do one or the other. You can appreciate the fine details in the moment, or you can appreciate the big picture in the moment. Okay. So you have to be able to switch between those gears at a moment's notice. If you can switch between them, if you have both strategy and tactics, you're ready for leadership. But that's really the hardest part. Following through with fucking the good idea that you have, right? That's the hardest part, is actually following through. Being patient, knowing when to change your gears, okay? So if you can do that, you're ready for leadership, okay? And if you're bad at leadership, it does not reflect poorly on you. It reflects poorly on the team, okay? The Collies know when we have bad leadership. And basically, look, if you're spawning at an area and you just see a sea of privates and corporals and sergeants just silently shuffling away to their doom, like that's basically what no leadership is, okay? So that's what no leadership is. And it's basically almost the worst thing. It's basically almost the worst thing, okay? So you want to use your initiative, okay? You want to use your strategy to look at the big picture. You want to use your tactics to see what you can specifically do in each of those areas, okay? Really, the only way to get the second step of leadership is to make 1 million mistakes, okay? Make 1 million mistakes. Make them by yourself, not in front of others, in front of the Collies, okay? Who cares if they see you fuck up? Who cares if your enemies see you fuck up? Who cares, right? It doesn't matter. That's what they want to see. And what are they going to say? They're going to say you fucked up. But guess what? They're going to say that anyways. They're absolutely going to say that anyway. So screw up in front of them. Who cares? Screw up again and again and again. But don't forget the lessons. Do not forget the lessons you learned, because there's a reason. It's more than just screwing up, okay? You will eventually, through osmosis, learn these lessons. But you have to apply them, okay? Because the same situation does end up happening twice. It does. If you connect the dots, you can see the same situations happening, okay? And usually, for me, in almost any cases, it's just like, well, there's something very wrong with this person. I'm going to have to put up with them now, so I'm just going to communicate with them as clearly and efficiently as possible. I'm not trying to just get this over with, but I understand that if I prolong this process, something is going to go very bad for me and them. Okay. That's usually what it comes down to. And the hardest thing for me in leadership is listening to people and understanding their limits, because I don't want them to be comfortable with their limits. Okay. Their limits are these just weak, these just boundaries of weakness. Okay. This comfortable little fat, shitty bubble filled with like fucking Twinkie filling. All right. But you have to listen to it, and you have to acknowledge it. And when they tell you their shortcomings, just acknowledge that, and maybe you can work on it, but usually not. All right. And that honestly, I understand now why. I understand now why so few people are willing to help people nowadays. It's just there's just so many people out there that there's no point in helping them. There's nothing you can do for them. There's nothing. So as soon as you hear that, just shut off. Just shut off. And all your ambitions and all this stuff, just realize it's going to happen without that person. At this point, that person is just a liability, all right? Let them just keep going on in their little world, and do not interfere with it. Do not interfere with their little world. The littler their world is, the worse it is when you interfere with it, okay? There's so many people that what they do is they've made their entire world as small as possible. That way they know everything in it, and they feel like they know everything. But look, you can't work with them. You cannot work with them. You cannot cooperate with them. You can tolerate them, okay? So once you figure out that you're around this kind of person, just tolerate them and never have any expectation for them at all. And maybe over time they might come around, and they might come and specifically want like mentoring or something. But I've just gotten my heart out plenty of times. Okay. Case in point. Okay. There was this one guy, and he said basically all he likes doing is backline logi. So what I should have realized is he's a coward. That he was giving me the code to tell me that he was a fucking coward. So I took him out on a combat mission, and he didn't even shoot the enemy, right? Because he's a fucking coward. He told me he was a coward. I just didn't listen. So that was my fault, okay? There was another guy, okay? He was scared of the dark. I took him out on a combat mission. He fucked everything up. He just fucked everything up on that combat mission. And then I yelled at him, and then he got PTSD from me yelling at him. He was a higher rank than I was. He was calling me sir, which was very strange. All he wanted to do was just this menial busy work task, and I should have just let him do that. I wanted to give him something better. I wanted to give him something he could grow with and learn, but he just wasn't ready for it. And you're going to find that there are people here that are just not ready for it, and they will act severely hostile if you try to give them direction or anything, because like I said, they've got their tiny little world that they're just so infatuated with. And all you are at that point is just the world destroyer. You're destroying their entire world. And I'm not even being like melodramatic here. Okay. You are threatening them when you do this. Okay. So let them go. But the ones that listen, treasure them. Let them go. I'm not saying don't let them go, but I'm saying treasure them, because when it works, it really does. And you're going to realize that it's more than just, okay, I'm the guy that has to tell everyone what to do. I'm the guy that has to see every single enemy. I'm the guy that has to shoot every enemy. I'm the guy that has to get hit by every enemy. I'm the guy that doesn't get healed by any medics. I'm the guy that has to go get bombs. I'm the guy that has to see. When it works, you're no longer going to have to be the guy that does all this. Unfortunately, it's just going to be one of these things that they're going to do, okay? It's just going to be one of these things. All right, look, you have to be an O positive universal soldier. If you want to be a leader, you have to be able to do fucking everything simultaneously while telling people what to do, because you have to lead from the front. They will not follow you if you lead them from the rear. They don't care. You're just another yelling voice. But if you're up there with the fucking enemy and you're leading by example, then they will follow you. And it's glorious and magnificent. And there are few feelings better in the world than leading men into battle and having some of them come out and having some of them fucking, succeed and seeing the fucking, the energy, reading the energy off that. They did that, that's their victory. You gave them a victory, basically, okay? And so what you want to do when you find these people that are doing good, these people that are going to help you out, these people that believe in the master plan, they have the initiative, okay? Commend them. Give them like a little reward. Tell them like, good job, excellent. And they will remember that when they do something good and then you reward them, it's like a double reinforcement, and they're going to try to do good again because you're training their brain to try to do good. Okay. But the thing about leadership, all right, if you don't prepare for what you're doing, there's going to be dead time. All right. If anyone has to ask you, oh, what do we do? And you have to take more than 1 or 2 seconds to figure that out. Or if you say, oh, wait, let me figure that out really quickly. If you have to say that, right, you have lost the initiative. Okay. It's not something you as a leader can get it and leave, right? Pick it up, drop it, right? Back and forth. Like you as the leader can lose the initiative and get the initiative, but your peons won't. They'll have the initiative and then they'll lose it. And then maybe they get it back. And then maybe they lose it again. But if you offer them any obstacles to their initiative, you will lose. You will just lose immediately. Okay. And so that's why you really want to plan these missions accordingly to what you can really do. Okay, I've got 6 guys. Let me take out that base at night. Okay, I've got 6 guys. Let me defend. You're not taking over a whole hex. You're not winning the entire battle with 6 guys, but there's a whole lot of things you can do with 6 guys. You can cut off Logi. I mean, I guess that itself would win the battle. But you need to plan your scope, okay? No dead time. You don't want to have 0 initiative. And then also you want to give them closure, okay? When the mission ends one way or another, you probably want to talk about the mission and how it went, okay? Usually for me, it's like, good job. You guys succeeded. Or it's, okay, we're going to change gears. We're going to go to another mission. But you want them to know when the end of your command is, because then you want them fucking thinking about what they're going to do next. You want those gears churning because they will rely on you exclusively to think. They will rely on you exclusively to think if you let them, okay? So you got to let them know when it's over and when the mission's over. And if you don't do this, like I lost a base because I had like 16 guys spawning there and running at the enemy, and it was glorious, right? And I had to get more supplies, so I left, and the base was destroyed because what happened is without me there telling them to attack the enemy, they didn't attack the enemy, and they were confused and they didn't know what to do, so they just disappeared. See, the thing you have to realize here is a lot of people online are not American, okay? They are not American, all right? The thing about Americans is there's something very special about us. There's something very special about us. Not too special about us, but kind of special about us, all right? At least those of us born in the 90s, maybe not so much these fucking Zoomer punks nowadays, but at least those in the 90s, like, your breakfast was fucking bullets and action movies, okay? Like, that's all you saw on TV. That's all the fucking games, fucking machine guns, bad guys, boom, boom, cars. Like, that is a very American thing. It doesn't really matter which color you are, but less so, it just doesn't seem like the yellow people really get into it as much. But anyways, look, we have a penchant for war, okay? Or at least that lipstick war that's on the fucking movies and video games. We have a penchant for it, okay? And so you really don't have to give too much direction. If you tell Americans to fight, they will, because it's just our entire legacy for this country, from the very day this was a fucking country, it was born off of war, okay? There was not any peaceful fucking Tea Party. That shit. Okay, look, the Tea Party was peaceful, but look, there were bullets and muskets and all that shit, okay? So look, it baffles and confuses me when other people across the world don't have that penchant, because it's just something I shouldn't have to tell soldiers to kill. It's just something they should do. They should just automatically be thinking about another way they can kill. I just want, like, if I have to remind them to kill, I don't get what the point is. I don't get what they're doing. And you're going to see with foreign people, especially Europeans, they don't just have that knack. You have to, like, tell them to get violent. Okay, so basically in your leadership, all right, I'll just go through the entire chain of command. Okay, first there's the privates. Okay, the privates, they don't know what the fuck is going on. Okay, I would say they're just happy to be there, but they don't say anything. All right, look, this I'll show you what it's like being a private. Oh, I'm dead. It's like they don't really know what's going on, and they don't really talk. They're almost like rudimentary intelligences. I don't know what's going on in their head. They just seem to spawn, go out, and die. They don't say anything. You can't really ask them to do anything. You can't really tell them to do anything, because the thing is they've been invested in that fucking death loop. So they're just gonna go out there and fucking die. Next is the Lance Corporal, all right? And I really like the Lance Corporal. The Lance Corporals, they don't really know exactly what the fuck is going on, but they have enough real life experience and enthusiasm to try to connect the dots. And more often than not, they're the ones getting kills, okay? And they don't stick around long enough, unfortunately, because they don't end up becoming sergeants. Sergeants, there's a reason they're just sergeants and nothing else, okay? They all seem to have a fucking chip on their fucking shoulder, all right? The thing about sergeants is, like, they look at the privates, right? They look at that and they realize they're not that, so they think they're the shit, okay? But look, you ain't shit. You ain't shit. Most medics are sergeants, all right? And that's just because it doesn't take a whole lot of thinking to do. It doesn't take a whole lot of skill. It takes this smug sense of superiority. Usually if you tell a sergeant to do something, they get upset. They just get fucking upset. And that's why they're sergeants, and that's why they always be sergeants. Unless they just make deliveries and they get ranked up. Next are the cadets, and the cadets think they fucking know everything. They think they know everything. They've been around the game long enough to, like, understand one of these three things I'm talking about. Okay? So they think they're just fucking... They think that their shit doesn't stink, all right? Out of all the ranks, the cadets are the worst. They're the worst, and they've got the most lousy mouths, okay? Yeah, I've only met one cadet that I liked. Okay, the next rank is lieutenants, and, like, basically, you know, we just like to shoot people. I don't know. Mostly every single lieutenant I've met has been a quality character. The lieutenants seem to have their little niches. Every single lieutenant seems to be extremely niched, and few of them seem to be armor. They all seem to be just, like, running little things. I would say, I don't know. I'm definitely tooting my own horn here, but the lieutenant is definitely the building block, I think, for this game, because that's when things start really coming together. You're going to start seeing cadets and lieutenants usually have, like, one or two privates around them. And yeah, they're basically a lieutenant in this game is a sergeant in the United States Army. That's essentially they're basically like a squad leader. I don't know. I haven't run into too many of us that ever gave me any issues, to be honest, but I'm definitely biased. The captains are all pretty much quality people. They're usually in tanks. When it comes to leadership, honestly, vehicles, tanks, that's the best way to do it, because you can control where your whole squad is because they're inside the vehicle. If you're driving it or commanding it, you can control that, all right? It's one less thing to stay on top of, all right? And then next, there's the fucking colonels. And the colonels are just like, I know where I am, I know who I am, and I know I must kill. Every single colonel I've ever met has just been like that. They're all about business, and that's fucking great. And there's the generals, and they're I don't know. Maybe one day I'll get to order a general around. That would be great. But essentially, what you want to do is you want to combine tactics and strategy using initiative to be a better leader, because we need more leaders out there. We really do. Okay. So many of the front lines, the only leadership out there is the fucking armor columns, and that's it. They're commanding their little vehicle squadron, and that's it. And that's cool and all, but we could do that on a larger scale. Okay. And so I'm calling on you, lieutenants. I'm calling on you, cadets. You know, you got to get out there, and you've got to start taking control, command and control. All right. Even bad leadership. Damn, I can't believe I'm about to say this. Even bad leadership is better than no leadership.